Hello, I am Sensei Kevlar, and welcome back to the Dojo. Let's take a look at some charts. We're going to open today with gold USD by request. This is an interesting chart going back to 2017 on a daily. And immediately, what I see about this is some of our lessons from yesterday are highly applicable. Let's just take this trend right here, which is obviously pretty heavily correlated, dragging it into the future. I'm just going to touch these two tips right here. Then I'm going to take that angle, I'm going to extend it into the future. Just running these two lines through each other right here. Look at what happened. This trend was very highly respected during this entire time. And as soon as it broke in a nasty way, and we got RSI below 30. Oh, what happened? According to our plan, this should have been our first buying opportunity. Coming in here and seeing this resistance right here. This should have been our first buying opportunity. And sure enough, the market turned around at that level and came back down. According to the RSI, this could have been our second opportunity right here. Coming in and seeing these levels, see this resistance turn into support right here. Could have been our second opportunity to dollar cost average in. And this is very clearly our third opportunity. Came down here, and if you look back, look at this. This was I didn't even draw that line in the past. I drew that line in the future, and then looked for the correlation in the past. If I had drawn that line in the past and looked for that correlation in the future, would that have worked? Of course it would have. What other lines can we do? Got that one right there. This one right here. I think we have a whole plan at this point. If we had paid attention, if we had been buying, putting our buys in, knowing that these lines exist in the past, if this had been where we started trading, if we had bought the top of the market and we wanted to make money when the market was going down, investing in this market, buying this market, could have bought a bunch here, then bought more here, bought more here, and bought more here, according to the RSI. According to our support levels. Could we have made money on that? Yeah. Here's the problem, though. It's not a lot. We're talking about 10%, and this is over 3 months. From August, almost 4 months to get that 10%. And this is why I don't generally trade in these types of markets. I generally don't do Forex anymore. I don't do stocks, and I don't do commodities. And the reason being is they just don't move like the others do. Not when you have Nano Ethereum. Look at this. This thing can do 261% in a matter of days. Just by playing it correct. Right? Just by playing it right, I could have made 261% on my position. Could I have known that coming in from the past? Taking that line right there where we're obviously seeing resistance, trying to get back up again. Okay. What other line could we have drawn? Well, we could have drawn that line right there. It certainly got respected. Well, where are we now? Let's take a look. How about that for in the past? And sure enough, it turned around right there. Well, there's our plan. Knowing this, can we make more of a plan? Of course we can. Come in here and make that right there. Okay. Now let's take a look at how the trend lines work on this. Take that, and we're going to project it through that right there. Sure enough, as soon as that trend got broken, this was our decision point right down here, and we crossed it all the way up to there. Okay. Could we see a new trend forming right here? Absolutely. How about this right here? Well, that's certainly being respected. came right up here. And what are we doing on this right here? On the underside? Well, I'd say it's the same thing. We're coming back into our trend. So what we're looking for now is we're looking for this to potentially become resistance. That's the reality of the situation. Is we may now see this come up and turn around and come back down if it can't get back into this trend line. Because this trend has now been broken. Is this a good time to take our profits on this little motion right here, get out and wait for this opportunity down here, put our buy order in down here? You bet it is. Well, what about further on down? Well, what we can do is we can do a projection. I'm sorry, let's start with a retracement, right? We'll take this motion right here. We'll just extend it into the future. Okay? Except instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the reverse of that. I'm going to take the bottom, I'm going to bring it back to the top. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend that on out into the future. So what are we measuring here? Well, we're measuring the standard deviations from here to here, but we're also measuring the standard deviation, the 61.8% beyond it. Well, what's this line down here? Where are we? That's a line we didn't know about. It's a line we didn't know we could make a plan for. And right there. And now we've got more of a plan. Now we know exactly how much we need to allocate according to our planning worksheet. Coming down in here, placing this buy order ahead of time, placing this buy order ahead of time, we know exactly how much we're going to have to allocate when we get to that point in the market, according to our plan. So, coming back up and seeing all of this, you know, this is bad news right here. Let's move on. BTC USD. Okay, well, this is a pretty good one right here. I'm not even going to do the support and resistance lines. I'm just going to start with the retracement. Starting from here and going down to here. Look at this right here. Right on the numbers. Every single time. Every single time. Look at this. Look at this. Right on the numbers. It comes around and it touches this and it goes back. Bounces above it and it goes up to here. Where does it come? Where do we take profits when we get above here? You know it. Comes down here. Do we buy right here? Of course we do, because we can sell right here. And where do we buy again? Well, obviously right here and right here. So we can sell right here and make money. Just by drawing this stupid tool, it told me everything that I needed to know. Okay, but could I have drawn that in the past and then extended into the future? Certainly. Let's see it happen. We'll come all the way down from the bottom of the market, the 600 mark, way down here. We'll take it over here, all the way to the peak of where we are, and we'll see where we are relative to the market. Okay. I think we're probably off by a couple hundred, so let's see what happens if we bring it up to here, and suddenly the chart comes into the whole lines come into view. Okay, so clearly people were trading off the 2000 mark. They were saying that this was the motion right here. They were ignoring this aspect of it because it's too far back in the past. They were saying that this peak right here, this is the most recent low right here, is where the real trend started. Okay, and look at that. Sure enough, that's where the trend got respected. Okay, so where are we right now? We're coming down into here. We need some more lines. Come in here and find the plan. Right there, and right there. Right there. And definitely right there. Well, there's your buying plan. There's your buying plan all the way down to, 1800. Can you make a buying plan that goes lower? Absolutely you can. Of course you can. And you know how much money you'll make if you do. And if it reaches there. Meanwhile, where are we going to sell? Well, I think here's the first good opportunity. How much money did we make on that? If that were to actually happen, that's a good, 32% right there. Let's move on. XRP. I want to do some more trend-based analysis on XRP USD. Okay. Look at this. Coming down right through here. This was pretty clearly a decision point. And what happened when we reached the decision point? So we broke right through it. Are we in a new trend now? Yeah, I think so. Let's go ahead and follow that. Okay. Do we have a decision point in the future? Absolutely. Sometime out in March here. Right? What's happening is we're moving within the trend. Soon as this gets, this is expected. If you were paying any attention to where these lines came from, right? If you put this line and this line right here, there it is. There's what people were programming. Right there. You can tell because if you project this line through this line and extend it into the future, look at what happens. It comes down and it touches, it makes this new point for us right here, which got respected right here, actually. This was just a projection of these 2 points right here. It came back up and it did this, hit the trend line and bucked, went back down. And as soon as we reached our decision point on that trend, right on down. Setting us up for an opportunity down here. Okay, where is that? Well, that happens to correlate with this right here. It's easy to make a plan, especially when you have this much information. You can make a plan to buy this and make money on this all day long. No problem. Okay. Let's see it get... Let's see that retracement happen. Let's take from this peak right here over to here. And are we hitting the lines? Yeah, every time. Right, so if we only knew this, if this is where we were, okay, if this is where we were and we said, all right, let's take this projection here. Let's take this this retracement right here. Let's go ahead and extend it on into the future, into our blank canvas, because we don't know what the future is. Okay. Could we have made a plan that had us selling here, and here, and here? Absolutely. Could we have then gotten to this point, and not knowing the future, said, all right, we've just gone through a really nice bull run. Let's make a plan to buy on this green line right here and this red line right here, because these are heavily correlated retracement points in which resistance and support is happening. Support is happening right on these lines. Resistance is happening right on these lines. Here's support. Here's resistance. Where are we going to put our buy order? Obviously right down here. Where are we going to look for the first sell? Coming up through here, we're going to look for it to break up through this trend right here. Otherwise, we're going to look for it to respect this trend a little bit longer. And then some of the time, it's going to break down through this and go down here, and you better have your buy orders here. Let's do EOS, USD. Let's pull a couple of those into where they should be. Let's just start over on that one. We'll just start with the retracement from the top to the bottom right here. And we can see that this was previously a heavily correlated line right there, because it was support, it was resistance right here, and it was resistance right here. So it should be no support, no surprise that it turns into support over here. Okay, so then it came up and it did this little thing, but now it's coming back down, hitting hard. Well, what's our trend tell us? Okay, trend tells us we're in bullish expansion here. Because for a minute it was doing this. Right? Sorry, let me get this thing back here. Under control. For a minute it was doing this. Right? For a minute there was compression happening here. And then it broke. It absolutely broke this trend because it got respected, 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 broken. 5 times got respected before it got broken. Came down to here and did one of these. Okay. So are we forming a new trend now? Possibly. It's hard to say. But what I do know is I want to have my action ready for if it hits here. I absolutely want to make a plan that has me creating my opportunities if it comes down into here. This is where I'm going to make all my money because look at what happens when it goes up again. Even if it goes up to, you know, its prior, if I can get my, there we go. Even if it goes up to its prior level, let's see, right here. You know, that's still 50%. And the reason being is because we're going from $1 to $2. You know, if we go from $1 to $2, that's 100%. You double your money. Down in here is where all the money is made because these are really, really, really tiny margins. These are really, really, really small numbers that add up into big percentages. The more you get down into here, the more this is golden. Because even the tiniest motions, 72% right there. Even the tiniest motions you can make money off of. Look at this motion right here. 58% that just occurred. If you had simply dollar cost averaged and hit your line and then bought in according to your RSI, according to your support and resistance, according to your plan. We already did BTC, but let's finish up with MCO USD. What a beautiful chart. Let's take this right here, and we'll extend it across to right here. We can see that, you know, this is 50% right here. What if we bring it on up to here? Yep, sure enough, this is a projection of this. If we bring it on up to here, yep, sure enough, here's your correlations right here. Look at this, look at this, look at this. These are all just standard deviations of the prior motion. Every single time. That's what we're getting, is standard deviations of the prior motion. Hitting right on the lines, coming up here and touching these lines and going, nope. Okay? Then we bust through. We come down here and we break through this trend that we had been really respecting for a while now. Look at this trend that we had really respected. We really thought this was the bottom. You really thought this was the bottom? You should have paid more attention to what happened over here. If you were a smart trader, you would have made a plan that included a buy down here. Let's zoom in some more and see what else we can find. I mean, we definitely see it coming up and touching this right here and saying, nope, it did that twice right here. What about right here where it turned around and came down and did this? I mean, this is definitely a pause point for it. Okay. Yeah, sure enough, we could have made money, right? If we had bought in the first time here, doubled up when it came down here and then came up against this, we're still waiting to make our money on this. Or are we? Turns out that it went from 1.6, let's zoom in a bit here, see what actually happened. Turns out it went from 1.6 to, to 2.8. Well, that's 58% on your money. And that's in, 3 weeks here? 3 weeks? Yeah. Now, the problem here is that, we didn't get enough information. Like maybe this one could have told us what we wanted to know. We needed more information from these prior motions right here, and we didn't have it. And the reason being is because we didn't know the tools. We didn't have the right analysis to be able to take these and project them in the right way. That's okay, because that's what we're going to study tomorrow. Tomorrow, what we're going to be focusing on is taking everything we've learned so far and taking it to its logical extreme. I showed you how to do 4 indicators. Well, tomorrow we're going to do 10.